And from New York, some big news from the Huffington Post's headquarters. Arianna Huffington, founder of the Huffington Post, as well as its chair, president, and editor-in-chief, along with billionaire investor Nicholas Berggruen, announced on Wednesday the creation of HuffPost, a comment and news website with some of the most powerful people on the planet and where they will make their voices heard. HuffPost will launch at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland this month. Contributors will include former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Microsoft's Bill Gates, and Google's Eric Schmidt. Huffington Post is now in 10 countries, and 42% of the American version's 94 million unique visitors each month come from outside the U.S. Just over 2 years ago, Arianna noted, "We didn't have an international edition anywhere." But the platform wants to hear from everyone, as always, not just the elite. HuffPost will adopt the Huffington Post DNA, where no hierarchy is king. Huffington Post, or I should say Arianna Huffington, said you can have all those heads of state and major business people writing right next to an unemployed man from Spain, a student from Brazil. The great heart of HuffPost is no hierarchy. Berggruen, known as the homeless billionaire because he prefers living in hotels to owning houses, also emphasized the lack of hierarchy for which Huffington Post is known and touted the viability of the project, saying this, "There is definitely an audience now for an international perspective. There may not be enough people in Los Angeles who want that, but globally, I think there is." Well, amen to that. And here at World Brief, we, of course, can't wait to be a part of it. Joining us now is Peter Goodman, Executive Business and Global News Editor of the Huffington Post. Peter, thanks for being with us. I want to start by letting you know that obviously global news, international stories to me is exciting. But what more can you tell us about World Post?
You know, it's a very exciting thing that we're doing here. In part, we're simply taking resources we've already got. I mean, you talked about the 10 international editions. These are partnerships that HuffPost has struck with some of the most prominent, most serious-minded journalistic institutions on earth. We've got serious journalists already doing original reporting for their domestic readership in countries like Spain, Germany, Italy, Japan, soon to be Brazil, South Korea. And it's a question of simply taking our colleagues and getting us all working together to forge a global news report. Plus, we've just deployed our first team of foreign correspondents. These are 3 people deployed in Beirut, Cairo, and soon to be Beijing, who are going to be filing regularly from those places. And we forged some internships with English language journalism schools around the world, starting in India, the Philippines, Hong Kong. We're working on some partnerships in Africa and the Middle East and Latin America as well. So we're going to have more eyes and ears watching for news while we're adding, as you've already noted, some very high-profile thought leaders, opinion writers, analysts, who will be serving up opinion, commentary, analysis, whatever word you like, putting it in one space while still embracing the fact that the Huffington Post is a community. And we're going to have people coming on your program, other HuffPost Live programs, to generate conversation about important stuff.
Most certainly, and we're looking forward to it, of course. But for those who are perhaps not as familiar with the kinds of stories that they can expect, in that first week, do you have plans as to what kind of stories, what kind of opinion pieces even might be hitting? I mean, what can we expect from the site that first week?
You can expect to see some very prominent people opining, and I don't want to give away too much. We're going to launch January 22nd at Davos. You'll see some big picture analysis out of China, for sure, where we had audiences with some of the highest leaders in China. We've got some robust original reporting on tap. We've got a retrospective on the Arab Spring coming up. We've got a survey on modes of parenting around the world. We've got to look at the Syria conflict and the state of play there with in-depth reports from on the ground. We've got to look ahead at the European elections on tap. And again, come back and check some more, but that should give you some flavor of what's in the box.
Most certainly. And Peter, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on World Beef. Certainly looking forward to covering more stories with you on World Post as well.
Likewise, Ahmed. Thanks so much.